Spring showed up the other day. And when spring comes, we think about renewal. We think about the trees starting to bud. We think about flowers blooming. Think about planting in the garden. I got my garden already started out there. That's what I do. But spring is a time for things to begin growing. We love spring because things seem to be changing. The earth seems to be coming to life again. I call it the magic of spring. We have a lot of spring in our lives that we use and we don't even think about it. And we need to take the concept and the magic of spring in our life, this renewing, this time of year when things start growing, and use that energy and use that excitement to push forward in our lives. And I teach about it in my courses, my online course that goes with the book, The Success Grower, that I wrote, that talks about 8 down-to-earth elements for achieving your goals. And it starts with a vision. And just like in the spring, when we start having these ideas about taking vacation in the summer and where we're going to go, and we have this vision of what we want to do, and it starts with that idea and that vision of enjoying the beach or enjoying the mountains or enjoying the ocean, wherever you want to go. And so we have this vision. The same is true in our life. You need to have a vision for where you're going in your life. And if you set some goals this year, earlier in the year, and you need to go back and look at them and say, well, how am I doing? And it could be you hadn't even started yet. But that's okay. It's spring. It's time for new growth. So what's the vision that you have for your life, for your business? What is that vision? Have you defined it? Have you written it down? Truly, have you written it down and defined it? The interesting thing, when you write it down, it then becomes real. You just created something that never existed before. So take that vision that you have for what you want and create it. Write it down. Make it real. And use it to leapfrog in your life to get started on the goals that you have. The next step is you got to have a plan. When I get ready for my garden out here, I have this vision of what I want to plant, and I'll draw on paper where I'm going to plant all of my plants, all of my vegetables. And I'll even include on there what follows it, because some of the things I plant in the spring will be done by May or June, and I need to have something to follow it. And so I'll have a vision of what needs to be included, but then I put on paper this plan of how I'm going to do that. It's the same way in our life. You need to create a plan. Your plan includes the goals that you want to achieve. It includes the strategies of how you want to achieve those goals. And then it includes the tactics, what you're going to do every single day to get closer and closer and closer to your goal. And so you have to create this plan before you even know. When you go on vacation, you have it all planned out. My daughter, she's great at planning Disney World vacations. And she's done some for us and our family, and she's good at it. But she's got all the plans down. When we're going to leave, how we're going to get there, get on the bus, and they're going to take us here. When we're going to each one of the parks, the locations, on what day, when we're going to have dinner with these certain characters. She's got it all planned out. And when you have a plan, it makes it so much easier and so much more enjoyable, because you're not like, well, what are we going to do today? Maybe we'll figure it out. And you waste so much time. But no, we'd get up every morning and off we would go because we had a plan. That's how it is with your life. You take the vision of what you want to accomplish and you create a plan that will help you move forward, so you know what you're going to do today and tomorrow and next week and next month. You write that plan down. Write that plan down. Then once you have the plan, like my garden out here, you got to plant the seed. You got to take the action. You've got to put the work in. You got to do something. You can have a great vision. You can have a great plan of what you want to accomplish in your life. But if you don't ever plant the seed, if you don't ever take action, if you don't ever till the soil, nothing will grow. Your vision will just sit there as a lifeless dream, and I call it a wish. It's not a dream anymore. It's not a goal. It's just a wish. So once you have your plan, you've got to plant. You've got to take action. You've got to do the work to get it done. And then as you do the work, I call it the next step, I call it nurturing. You've got to nurture this process. So what does that mean in our life? You know, nurturing in my garden, it's fertilizing it, it's weeding it, it's watering it, all those things to help it grow. So how do you nurture your vision? How do you nurture this goal that you have? Well, you have to keep growing yourself, improving yourself. So you do that by reading, learning. You do that by getting around people who are more successful than you, who've been there before where you're headed, and have them help guide you and teach you. You go learn new skills. You develop new habits. You get up maybe an hour earlier every morning to get started and create new daily habits. You make changes in your life in order to help grow this new vision, to grow this new plan, to grow towards this goal that you want to achieve. And you nurture it along the way. And then eventually, I call it harvest. I love harvest. I love harvest time. I don't care if I'm out here harvesting lettuce or harvesting spinach, or if I have to wait till the fall and harvest corn, or in the middle of the summer and I'm getting tomatoes. I love harvest. Because harvest is the result. It's the reward that you get for putting in the work, for creating the plan, for nurturing it along the way, and it's the reward that you get for doing the work. And when harvest comes, you get to celebrate. And so as you achieve your goals, and you should have goals that are set, not just the big goal way up here, but intermediate goals. So you need to have a goal for today and tomorrow and next week and next month. And when you hit those goals, that is also called a harvest. It's like my lettuce. I'll start cutting lettuce, and every week I'll probably cut another bunch. It just grows right back, and I cut some more. And so when you accomplish even the small goals, that's called a harvest, and you need to celebrate that. One of the cool things when I was growing up on the farm, my dad we grew a lot of corn and wheat. Love wheat harvest. Oh, I love wheat harvest. Corn in the fall. My dad would grow popcorn. And in October, he'd call people from the church to come out, and we lived about 15 miles out of town. And they'd come out for, he called it a popcorn picking and popping party. And it was really cool because people from the church would come out and they'd go into the field with these bushel baskets, and they'd start picking the popcorn, the dried popcorn ears. Take them back to the house, and we'd get it all shucked up. And then we'd start shelling some. It's a little hard on the thumbs to do that, but it's really fun. We'd shell the popcorn, and then we would pop the popcorn and have a big popcorn party. And then my dad would let everybody take, you remember the brown grocery sacks? Yeah, that's back in the day. They'd all take a grocery sack full of ears of popcorn. You got to go home and shell your own and take it home, and then we would have a bunch left over at our house. And I think he did that, one, because he enjoyed celebrating harvest with people and people in the church. But he also got his popcorn picked, and he didn't have to do it all himself. And we, as his kids, didn't go have to do it all ourselves. So, pretty smart guy. But harvest. Celebrate your successes. Celebrate what you've accomplished. Even the small ones, celebrate them. It's called the magic of spring. It all starts in the spring. I'm growing my garden in the spring. We can have spring in our life any day we want to start a new vision, to start planting new seeds to achieve the goals and dreams that we have. It's called the magic of spring. So what are you going to plant in your life this spring? It's only a couple of days since spring started, so you got plenty of time. What are you going to plant in your life this spring so that you can have a harvest later on this year or next year, however long it's going to take? Keep driving towards that harvest. I'm Mark Schinnerer. I'm here growing your success, and I'll be back and talk to you tomorrow.